Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I get this lesson started, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yoshai, by Hashem Rakakadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, of whom I learned from. And it's shalom to the hopeful elect, taking this truth to the four corners of earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yahshua to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Radah out of the GMS Atlanta camp. Just a really quick lesson and expose on this really unusual thing happening with the Edomite women, which does involve some of the Jake women and, Northern Kingdom women. But this is predominantly looking like it's an Edomite thing. And this is, they're being exposed for what they are. Look at this, man. You guys are familiar with the chick that killed, let me see if I can pull it up in another place. I got a bunch of videos saved on it because I was wanting to do something on this. Let me see, hold on. Okay, right. Let me try it right here, and then I got the one next to it. Yeah, let's do this. Let's try this.
The discussion around Lindsay Clancy's trial for murder.
So this chick right here that you're looking at, she murdered her 3 children. 5, 3, and 7. I can't remember. They're all babies, and she choked them. She choked all 3 of these motherfuckers while she was by herself. She sent her husband off to go get some food or something like that. And then all these women in America, they're looking at her, knowing, and she confessed to doing it, and they're looking at her and they're still saying she's innocent because she was stressed out. And the reason why they're saying she's innocent and stressed out is because they can see themselves in her. Therefore, because they can see themselves in her, she is innocent of murdering all 3 of her own children by way of strangulation, which is a very personal, a very intimate, very morbid way to murder someone. And all the other children were in the room while she was strangling. So she strangled the first child, and both the other children saw her do that. Then she strangled the other one, and then she strangled the last one. That's how this fucking, so check this out, man.
Murdering her own 3 children is perhaps the greatest. The discussion around Lindsay Clancy's trial for murdering her own 3 children is perhaps the greatest indictment of modern man-hating feminism that I have ever seen in my life. First off, to be clear, Lindsay Clancy admits that she killed her children, and so does her attorney. Despite that, massive numbers of people on the internet are theorizing that actually the husband was the one who killed the children, even though we have ample evidence, including surveillance video, that directly refutes that claim. People are still convinced the husband did it, saying the eyes says it all. And on top of all of this, Lindsay Clancy's parents have received nearly $1 million in donations as this murder trial is ongoing.
Of course, from Edomites, right? White people, so-called white people, are supporting this woman because this is how their minds work. Their whole sense of balance when it comes to righteous judgment, it is so fucking twisted. It's always based on outward appearance, and it's always based on whiteness. It's never based on the law of Moses. It's never based on what's written in the actual scriptures. And this is the danger. This is the fucking insanity of these people, man. Because we understand that if this was any other race of people, especially if this was a Jake, which this is bad. You're supposed to judge this shit. You don't murder, you don't end the lives of 3 children. Now we understand judgment, and we understand that we don't know what those children did in their past life. But we're talking about just on the surface level, you don't just fucking kill children. Something is supposed to happen to her too, right? And something is. But there's a whole group of women in America that think this woman should be let go. That's crazy.
This is what happens when large portions of the internet hate men so much that they literally believe that being around a bear is safer than being around an average man. When an act of evil is committed, they will do all sorts of mental gymnastics to assign the blame somehow to men. The discussion...
We're here today to support Lindsay.
And these are the women that are supporting that woman that murdered her 3 children. What do you see What do you see in the audience? Now, you're going to see a couple stupid-ass fucking Jakes. You always see some dumbass N-dubs in Northern Kingdom following these bitches, but what do you see?
But also all these incredible women that you see.
Case in point, right there, you see 3 fucking N-dubs, idiots, that have no business being there.
Pouring in.
See them dumbasses? Look. Aww.
I think this
But what do you see? You see predominantly Edomites.
has become less of a trial. Whatever's going on behind those doors in the courtroom, it's become more about how Lindsay's been failed in obtaining the mental health help that she deserves.
This is when Edomites express their Edomiteness, which is them being the border of wickedness. The other Edomites in their wickedness say, oh, that Edomite that was just wicked, they need mental health. And they do have mental issues because they have the mind of an Edomite, which is the mind of wickedness. But they mean it as in they need to be coddled. They need to be held. They need to be, they don't need to be punished. They need to be medicated. And then they need to be counseled out of their wickedness. But these are the same people that would string our people up in a tree and do the same thing. They would meet like this and have a picnic and then burn and lynch our people for nothing. But they want this bitch to fucking go free, man.
I think a lot of us are here today because what we're seeing transpire, it's close to home in many different ways. I'm a nurse before I was ever a mother, and I got introduced to the broken healthcare system that, we all know that we have. Within that broken healthcare system is an even more broken mental health care system. And then women suffer in every aspect from that.
I have a personal connection. I worked with Lindsay for a few years, so I know who the person she was before this. And when I first saw her face flash across the news on my TV, I was shocked. She was the last person I would ever suspect to do something like this. So I knew in my heart of hearts that something was seriously wrong.
So she knew in her heart of hearts that something was seriously wrong. That she didn't know in her heart of hearts that what Lindsay did was wrong. She knew in her heart of hearts that something was wrong or had been done wrong to Lindsay.
Regardless of our individual speculation.
Shocked.
Listen to this bitch, bro. Listen to what she's saying. Listen, this is not even a woman that's in the trial. This is a woman who is speaking from in her own mind, her own position of whatever she thinks she is. Listen to what the fuck she just said.
She was the last person I would ever suspect to do something like that.
She used to work with her. This lady right here. Look at the beginning.
I first saw her face flash. Personal connection. I worked with Lindsay for a few
Healthcare system.
Personal connection. I worked with Lindsay for a few years, so I know.
Tara Surratt, New Hampshire resident. She worked with Lindsay, so she has a personal connection with her. So she thinks she knows her, right? She probably does on a work basis. But listen to what she says.
Person she was before this. And when I first saw her face flash across the news on my TV, I was shocked. She was the last person I would ever suspect to do something like this. So
she's the last person I would ever suspect to do something like this. So I knew in
my heart of hearts that something was seriously wrong.
Regardless of our individual.
So she knew in her heart of hearts that something was seriously wrong. There's nothing wrong with Lindsay, but there's something wrong, right?
Speculation. We did not come here to protest or to rally or to scream our opinions about what happened behind the walls of the Clancy home in January of 2023. We're here to send one message, and that message is that it should not take tragedy for people to start paying attention to mental health.
So this is the judgment. This is the level or the style or the acceptable form of judgment that these women think concerning this woman. They think that this happened because her mental health was not looked at correctly. And as a result of the failure of the doctors, this is why she did what she did.
I murdered my 3 children. Oh my God, I hear you. You're saying your husband is actually emotionally abusive and threatening you and forcing you to say that you murdered your children because a woman would never do that because all girls are queens. No, I am publicly admitting that I strangled my children to death and submitting into evidence the bands that I used to strangle them with my fingerprints on them. Because his fingerprints are on them too, thus proving that he's guilty and that all women are innocent and all men are guilty. Love that. No, his fingerprints are on there because he pulled them off of our dead children's corpses. He was gone during the murders because he was getting food for our family, and there's video evidence of all of this. So you're saying he was emotionally and physically absent as a partner, therefore he's culpable for the crime? Even if he was emotionally absent, that doesn't then make it okay for me to murder my own children. Honestly, I can understand it, and I'm with you, girl. I've been there. I've wanted to murder my children too. I'm sorry, what did you just say? I said that all girls are innocent, believe all women and men are the problem. No, you're just afraid to face the truth that women are just as bad as men.
Women are worse than men, and Edomites are, as a whole, worse than Hebrew Israelites.
We're here. The discussion.
Okay, this one's going to be divisive. When Candace talks about how they all...
If he's convicted.
There's a disturbing trend happening right now online of women posting videos saying same Lindsay, referring to Lindsay Clancy, who murdered her 3 children. And they're posting these videos with their children saying same Lindsay. I want to be clear. This is not a postpartum depression story. This is not a post...
That's some fucking kinky, twisted shit that these women are so mental, so incapable of righteous, balanced judgment. And why is this? Because there's no hedge. What's the hedge? There's no law and there's no men. There's no men of God. There's no prophets. There's no elders. There's no true right-handed light in the earth. This place is full of gross darkness. That this is what these, and now look, a lot of these women, they live in houses. There's a lot of Jakes. We don't have houses. We might rent out an apartment. I rent out a room. They got these fucking lush lives. You know what I mean? They're with these men. That they have these husbands that go to work, but those men aren't there. And what do I mean by those men? Those men, because this society, right? The upper echelons of Esau, Edom have written laws that have given women so much fucking freedom, which socially has engineered these women into a place of hyper-feminism, which is what? What is it? It's a direct result of what happened to us because we disobeyed and we committed adultery against our father, against our husband. That what happened. He eventually sent a judgment and said this, behold, I do a new thing, a woman shall compass a man. A woman shall compass a man. Jeremiah 31:22. Let's get that. Jeremiah 21:32. 21:32. Let's get it. Look. Oh, Snapple. 31:22. Salakia. Jeremiah. Let me get that. Jeremiah 31:22. Let's jump all the way down. Bam. How long wilt thou go? That's Jeremiah 31:22. How long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? This is speaking to the men of Israel. The men of Israel are likened unto a daughter, are likened unto a comely woman, because they are married to the Most High, and the Most High always deals with the men of the nation, not the women. He deals with the men of the nation, and from the overflow of him dealing with the men of the nation, the women and the children are blessed thereby. It's an order. He doesn't neglect the women and children, but he makes sure that he deals with the men first. As long as the Most High, through Yahushai, can get the men in order and has the men in order, the women and children will be in order. And this is talking about this is talking about the Israelites. These people are not Israelites. These are the Edomites, but they're in rulership right now, and they claim to be the most intelligent, most moral race on planet Earth. They claim to be. They are not. So look, for Yahweh has created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man, and this came to fruition. A woman compassing a man. What does the word compass mean? Look. A woman shall compass, shall go around. Look. To turn about or around or aside or back or towards. go about or around, surround, encircle. And so what's the encircle? Encircling is when you're about to surround a city for war. So what does this mean? So as a woman would be given the ability to go around a man, in her going around a man, she'll be able to encircle a man. How so? Divorce. Technology. Look at all the laws written in America. A man can't hit a woman. No, you can't hit a woman. So why would a man want to hit a woman? I don't want to hit a woman, but if your woman cheats on you, the law says you can put her to death and the man that slept with her. You can put them both to death. But what does this country say that is? This country says that's murder. This country says you're being weird. This country says that you're being a weirdo if you kill your wife and the guy she cheats on you with. You're not allowed to do that. What race of people said that law is the truth? The so-called white man, Esau, Edom, the upper echelons of this nationality. They said you can't do that. What else did they do? They made a whole bunch of movies in Hollywood showing women out in the front having no husband. Beautiful women, beautiful A-list actresses. The entire half of Hollywood's movies are filled with some of the most amazing looking women in the world. Do they have husbands? You never see them. They're out in the front. They're independent. They're protected. And then what does that do? All the other women in society, they see that, and then they want to be just like that. Then there's all these laws, women liberation. Oh, women are equal to men. No, they're fucking not. No, they're fucking not. But because of this curse, and that's what this is a punishment. Because at the top, how long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? Because you won't be submitted to me. Women are not going to be submitted to you. And this is what we see, you guys. Women in America are out of fucking control. Social media, Instagram, TikTok, OnlyFans, Hollywood movies, hip-hop music. What do you see them doing? And then all the laws, protecting them, which has now made them what? A bunch of careless women. Now judgment's coming. But this is the state. Because of these curses, a woman shall compass a man. Now women have been compassing men so much. Look, that this is
Postpartum depression.
This is part of what they've turned into. They've turned into these fucking weirdos because they cannot and will not receive instruction from a man. They rely on themselves. They encourage themselves among themselves, and they say the stupidest shit to each other because they do not have wisdom. They're not equipped with fucking wisdom, not with the logical thinking of a man. And so through social media, they become a voice to themselves. They become a man to themselves. And this is this weird shit that you see. You got these women posting themselves on social media talking about, man, I understand you. How? And then they're crying, oh, look at me. And some of this might be psyop shit. There might be Esau, like, kind of, putting gasoline on the fire. I would not put that past them. Some of these women are probably agents making it go further. But for the most part, what do you see? You see a bunch of fucking females doing weirdo shit behind this white bitch who just fucking killed 3 of her own fucking children. And now it's becoming this fucking emotional, I understand what she's going through, rather than the fact that woman is wicked and she murdered her own children.
Case. For those of you who are mistaking your connection with Lindsay via postpartum depression, that's not what...
And this is a bunch of Edomites, you guys. These are Edom. And what do we just see in the Epstein files? You see where this is kind of, some of this can be kinky. Some of this can be just Edomites that are illuminated, that are acting like they're concerned about this bitch, when in fact they're really all about fucking child pornography and child sacrifice. Because this is fucking weird, bro. Look how well-to-do all these homes are. All the technology, the furniture, the clothing. These don't look like, low-level income people. Yet they're all posting their children, talking about, I understand you, Lindsay.
This case is. And let me be upfront. I think Lindsay Clancy is going to be found not guilty. This is a medically...
See, that's a woman breastfeeding, but So same Lindsay, same. This is weird, man. And these are all Edomite women. These are, you know, they got good credit. They live in decent houses. This is supposed to be the fucking tip top of society. Every other woman of color is trying to get what these fucking women have, right? Supposedly what these women have. And look at their level of morality. Look at their level of intelligence. Look at their level of wisdom. This is how they are.
Misdiagnosed medical malpractice case. If you relate to Lindsay Clancy via postpartum depression, and you're saying same Lindsay while posting your children, you have a problem. And I fear for your children. Lindsay was misdiagnosed.
So that's Lindsay, and that's what that little girl, she choked that bitch out she choked her to death. That little baby is dead now. And I think she was pregnant. Yeah, okay, so now I understand. So she's sitting on her mom's pregnant belly, right? And the fucking the fucking baby that was in her belly, that baby's dead too.
Diagnosed 32 medications in the final 3 months leading up to the deaths of her children.
There it is. All three of those.
6 of those in the final days. Psychotic medications. That's what this case is. It's not a postpartum case. It's not a depression case. It's a misdiagnosis case. And those are huge, very different things.
And the fact that it's becoming a circus and it's getting drawn out to fucking, you know, just this is white people shit, bro. Edomite shit. 2 Timothy verse 3. Difficult times will come. Know this also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. Let's get the enema or the without natural affection. Without natural affection, unsociable, inhuman, unloving. Let's get incontinence. Look at this. Without self-control. So this is what this is. They're
none of you.
They're not displaying a form of self-control. It's I was so depressed. I just had to choke all 3 of my fucking children out. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Should be able to relate.
So motherhood is such a miserable existence that all of us need to somehow just get our anger out in some way. And if it's not killing our children, because, you know, we care about our children, we don't actually want to kill them, well, we need to throw ice into a bathtub because, you know.
This is like some new trend now. You got these fucking Edomite bitches recording themselves, growling and screaming as they are throwing ice into the fucking shower or bathtub to release their fucked up emotions, bro. So that they don't kill their children. This is no scripture, no prayer. Well, of course they can't. These people don't have a relationship with Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. They can't have one. And Renaissance Western White Christian Jesus, that was a false doctrine set up to hide their true identity and give them the appearance of righteousness when they don't have any.
Men have fought wars, but we had to be mothers. And so the next time you see a woman setting up her phone on a tripod and making sure that she's perfectly in frame, and she gets herself into a crazy emotional state and starts throwing ice cubes into a bathtub, well, you just remember that what you're witnessing is a hero. Because she could have taken this out on her children, but she chose to throw ice into a bathtub instead and set it up and then post it online for everybody to see. It's all become very clear to me why so many women want to see an actual horrific murderer actually get off for the murder of her 3 children. And that is because they are all insane themselves. And they want to know that if their insanity, you know, from the terrible pains of being a mother, if their insanity ever progresses to the point where they feel like they want to take their children's own life, well, they want to know that they would, number 1, get sympathy for it, and number 2, that they wouldn't have any actual consequences for it.
There's lots to unpack.
So it turns.
Cheers for Lindsay Clancy. This was the extraordinary scene today as she arrived to court with hundreds of women wearing pink, showing their support. Despite her saying.
And the fact that the media is making sure this is getting out, the media is not telling us this because they care. They like the media, the race of people who own the media. They love shit like this. They want to make right now. You got Gary, Indiana, that's been out without power for 10 days. I want to research a little bit more about that. The elder Malcolm out of the head out of the Chicago camp did a pretty good lesson on it this morning. That's not having any kind of coverage. You got to get the information off of TikTok. You're going to find out they're not even talking about that. But they want to make sure that you see that this so-called white woman is viewed as a hero in the light of her murdering the three children. She's not even perceived as a fucking criminal. And Esau loves this shit. This is the mark of Cain, man. If you understand what the mark of Cain is, the mark of Cain is a supernatural mark that is a manifest. It's also a physical mark, which is the lack of melanin. But it's a supernatural mark placed on the wicked that prevents them from experiencing judgment from their wickedness, but it's only temporary. It's because the wicked is also reserved for the day of Yahweh Shabbat. Their judgment is at hand. But this has been Esau, his entire rule, where he's been able to do wicked shit. And for some reason, the public doesn't view him as such. He's looked at as intelligent. When he's a serial killer, ooh, he was so smart when he was, getting his prey. When a woman does shit like this, you see, oh, she's got mental health issues. She was failed. But the bitch killed 3 fucking children, man. There's no way. And we don't want our people to be treated like this when our people do shit like this. But there's no fucking way. This is how sick these people are. There's no fucking way. You would not see a bunch of fucking Jake women cheering on a Judite girl that killed 3 of her children. You wouldn't see a bunch of black women do it. And our women are fucking crazy.
Saying she killed her 3 children in a moment of postpartum psychosis. As Anna Mercogliano reports, many are showing her sympathy.
But in the sympathy, what's the sympathy based on, though? It's not based on anything in the law. It's not based on in the scriptures.
Astounding show of support today for Lindsay Clancy. Hundreds of women, all dressed in pink, cheered the accused mom as she arrives in a police caravan for her murder trial. Supporters ran across the field to greet Lindsay. Some came with their babies. They held up heart hands during a silent rally for the mom who strangled her 3 young children, then jumped from the 2nd floor window, leaving her paralyzed for life.
It's a buzz around here, guys.
And even the reporter's wearing pink. This shit's weird, man. The whole fucking thing is weird. The goddamn reporter is just conveniently wearing pink as well. Come on, man.
Fox News legal analyst Chanley Painter, a former prosecutor, actually wore pink in her live report as she spoke to Lindsay.
And so she was a former. How many Jake men, how many so-called black men and Latino men did she send to prison for life sentences, 40 and 30-year sentences? But here she is in front of the camera supporting this fucking Edomite bitch. You see how crazy this is, dude?
Lindsay's defense attorney, who was greeted with cheers.
Hey guys, what do you think of the support for Lindsay Clancy out here?
I have no words.
No words?
It's amazing.
It echoes last year's Free Karen Reed campaign.
Look at the hand signals. I don't know who this bitch was, but everyone, and they're going to try to tell you that's the I love you symbol, right? No, these are, bro, I guarantee you, these people in the audience doing this hand sign, those are all illuminated members of the fucking 1,000 Points of Light. These are people that are in the know, and they're right there in front of the camera doing the fake I love you symbol, which really is a devil horn sign. It's a fucking Freemason symbol. Some bitch killed her cop husband, and she got off, right? But this means something. So and then more than likely the cop was probably he probably was not initiated. There's something to this, you guys. Look, watch.
Reporters also wore pink. She was acquitted.
Look at the guy. He's doing it too. Her lawyer, right? That's her lawyer. But so she killed her cop husband. I don't know what the fuck he did.
Of murdering her cop boyfriend.
It was her boyfriend.
Rally for Lindsay Clancy is not just in Plymouth, Massachusetts, where the...
So, look.
I feel like you dumb bitches are the reason why men don't think we should have the right to vote. And watching
You shouldn't have the right to have power and judgment over men. You're not supposed to be in those positions because you're not set up for it. And the fact that you have it now is a direct result of punishment. It's a curse.
you guys show your ass during this trial has genuinely been embarrassing, to say the least. She was literally Googling ways to kill. She sent her husband out of the home long enough for her to commit these acts, was able to call him in the middle of it. She left one of the kids in his office, and miraculously, as soon as the kids are gone and this is all over, and she's strangled one of them to the point where their eyes were bulging out of their head, she doesn't have psychosis anymore. She's cured. She wasn't taking her medications correctly. Not a single member of her care team stated she was exhibiting signs of psychosis. Not a single person. People who were trained to identify it didn't see it. But weirdly enough, the psychologist that the defense team flew in, who's a personal friend of her defense attorney, he says she was in psychosis. He also stated last summer that she should get off of a lot of the medications that she's on and be transferred to a different facility. But she didn't do that because that'd be bad for the case, right? I've never seen anybody go this hard to defend a male family annihilator, an individual who goes into a school or a church and ends a bunch of lives. No matter how mentally unwell they are or if they're in a state of psychosis, nobody in mass defends them because they think they should be held responsible. You guys are only...
There it is. I'm going to end with this. The wickedness of a woman. All right? Ecclesiasticus. Let me see. All wickedness. Ecclesiasticus 25:19. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Because women need to be hedged in. They need to be guided. It's the same thing with a man. When a man does not have a relationship with Yahweh Shai, and that man is not governed by the laws, statutes, and commandments, the scriptures tell you he is no different than a beast. He's like an animal. Without the wisdom of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, the Hebrew Israelite man is like an animal. So what do you think the other nations are going to behave like? The other nations, and because these women are out of control. These women are out of control because their men are out of control. And their men are out of control, and they're out of control because we are in judgment right now because we were acting out of control. And right now the earth is full of gross darkness, man. Look. Those who sat in darkness saw a great light. Look. Those who sat in great darkness, it's talking about America, man, saw a light. No, I don't want that one. I want the prophet. I want the prophecy. Those who sat in darkness. Those who sat in darkness. There it is. Nevertheless, the dimness shall not be such as was in their vision. Bam, verse 2. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death. The reason why I wanted this one is because this links up with, and I'm going to pull it, Psalms 23, okay? So look, the people, this is Isaiah 9 and 2. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. We're talking about Yahushai. This is talking about the Hebrew Israelites in America that are waking up to this truth. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shined. Okay, so we were walking in absolute ignorance, right? The valley of dry bones, Ezekiel 37. When we saw the light, the breath came into us. The breath gave us the wisdom, knowledge, understanding. And now we're seeing that light. We're seeing that it's Yahushua. It's not white Jesus. It's not Renaissance Western Christianity. It's not voting Republican or Democrat. It's not Islam. It's not any of the different versions of Christianity. It's this truth. All right. And then you line that up with Psalms 23, because the Wadi Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua was struggling trying to find that first precept. Psalms 23. Hold on. Psalms 23. Look, Let's read it. A Psalm of David. Yahweh is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, look at verse 4. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. We are just passing through. This is not our home. This is the land of our captivity. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shined. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai forever. So I pray that this lesson was edifying, man. These fucking people, and also the precepts say, the Most High is lifting up their skirt, showing their nakedness. Esau shall not be able to hide himself. They are being revealed. They are unworthy to rule. They are unworthy to rule the earth. And they are unworthy to be over us in rulership. We cannot follow these people. We have to follow the prophets. We have to take heed to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone who rule and teach well. And we got to follow this new song, the 100% truth, and call upon the names of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai for salvation from this place. Because these fucking people are through. I pray that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakadash, and double honor to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, of whom I learned from, Mr. Brother Radah, Shalom.